Hey YouTube, welcome back. As you can see, I've enlisted my Maine Coon female to help me pick my project for this week, and she seems to be pretty keen on the carob burl, which you can see there. Here's the top view of this burl. I thought it was just another eucalyptus burl, but it looked a little different, and I really had no idea what species it was, but it turns out to be carob. And you can see on the left, that's the piece I'm going to use in the first project here. And that waist in the middle where it gets skinny, that's kind of a natural place to cut it in half. Otherwise, it'd be pretty hard to make a bowl out of the whole thing. Okay, this is a rare treat. Got the blank kind of cut up. I may trim a little bit more off of here, but it's more or less ready to go on the lathe. I'm going to make this the top because I want to have this really cool burly natural edge on the top. Plus the heartwood is this dark red with the lighter sapwood here, and as you come up the bowl, I think that would be really pretty nice. Only concern I have is this knot hole right here, which goes down pretty deep, and there's this rotten spot here in the middle. Did measure it, and I should still have plenty of depth, or enough depth, to kind of keep those 2 points from connecting. But I guess we'll see. But I think it's going to be super cool, and I'm super excited to turn my first burl. And let's get rolling. Well, the woodworm screw did not work out. It just crumbled in there. So I'm either going to do a faceplate or spur center. So we'll see. Sorry, but the audio was crap for this part of the video. I had left my lapel mic on my lathe bed, so that didn't work out so well. But basically, I decided to mount it up on a faceplate because I wasn't confident a drive spur would really bite, because this stuff is super, super hard. So I thought it was easier and less stress on me to just get it on a faceplate and go with that. So the little trench down the bottom of the blank there where my tailstock is resting is kind of soft. And I think that may have been where the pith was or some rot. So I'm hoping that's going to hold up as I get to turning here, and I don't lose all of my heartwood trying to turn that away. Oh, that's cool. All right, it's just about round. There's no flat spot there, and I'm just barely missing this. Everything else is round, so I think I'll just come up this way, and I'm not going to turn all the way down to that straight. I'll lose a lot of size, so it's going to kind of follow that and curve the bowl up. Looks awesome so far. So I found that by working my way back and forth between the bottom and the sides, kind of curving things up and then working on the bottom, I'm slowly honing in on a shape that will not lose too much material. No, it's a little bit of a deep recess. I'm gonna stick with that. Just round this up a little bit more, maybe put a little bead in here, a little bark inclusion there. I kind of like that, so I'm gonna leave that. So it's kind of punky here and here where the big valley was, but it's really strong wood out here, so I don't see any big cracks this way. So I think that should be fine in terms of holding power. So there you go with that. Okay, I don't want to mess with it anymore because I might screw it up. But that is super pretty, and I'm going to sand it up and get some finish on there, and we'll flip it around. Alright, getting ready for sanding. I'm trying out something new because I'm looking for something a little more affordable for sanding because it gets expensive pretty quick. I really like the Abernet stuff, and I tried this trial pack from Woodturner's Wonders. I got some of this net stuff, and then I also got a sample of their green, which I'm going to try as well. And hopefully it'll save me a little bit of money on sanding discs. So I'll let you know how it goes. Not sponsored in any way, I'm just trying them out for myself. Okay, sanding was nice. A little bit rough here because my cuts initially were not super clean just because of how jumpy the top edge is up here. But a little bit of sanding with the lathe off took care of that pretty easily. But super, super smooth, and it looks great. So we're just going to do a little shellac-based sanding sealer on there. Take a look at what we've got. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that was good. Wow. Ooh. Okay, I'm a fan. Sure, I'm getting these cracks. little punky right there. And that branch goes through, so hopefully that's not going to be a big problem. All right, I'll do a couple coats of this and flip it around and we'll hollow it out. But I think that's pretty spectacular so far. Okay, I got the outside all done. I just sharpened up my gouge, ready to go. Use the Sandiflex on the rim here just to get that cleaned up a little bit so I don't have to sand it afterwards and mess up the inside and outside. So I'm going to leave maybe a half inch here just so I can kind of get some of these funky lumpy bits in the rim and make it pretty cool looking. I will keep the tailstock just at the beginning because it's pretty low spot here and high on the other side, another low. So it's going to be slightly out of balance, but once I get in a little bit, I'll rotate the headstock and take the tailstock away. If you don't have a rotating tailstock on your lathe, it's super nice. It's so more comfortable. In my setup where I have my lathe against the wall, I can't just go to the end of the lathe and hollow out. And rotating the headstock really helps from bending in awkward positions, which can be fatiguing and possibly dangerous if you're not in good position for things. So anyway, here we go, and we'll see how pretty it is on the inside. So 684 RPM will be turning. Oh, oh cow, that's crazy. Now it's just already dull again. I'm gonna have to resort to carbide for a little bit of this. Maybe just until I get past this, that's probably what's doing it. Getting there. Super cool. Alright. I'm gonna try our my woodpecker carbide, see how that works. We are almost there. Across the bottom here. The gouge is dull again, but it's really apparent going through the lighter sapwood and the darker heartwood, the difference in density. Here it cuts nicely, and then I get to this spot and it kicks me out. So I'm going to get my scraper and see if that will work a little bit better. After sanding, this thing looks pretty good. It's going to have a lot of cool contrast in the middle there, in the light and the dark. We got it set up and get it sanded. I'm going to use the green discs that I got from Woodturner's Wonders, and you can see that these are oversized for the 2-inch pad. So usually I like to use the wavy ones for the inside, so then the edge of the paper doesn't cut into the inside of the corner. Really like that, and maybe this will do something similar and do the job. We'll see. I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, there we go. One live edge Cara Burl bowl in the books. My first ever Burl that I turned, because they're hard to get naturally out here in Arizona unless you buy them. And this is the first one I ever bought. So finish is really smooth, and this wood was really, really hard and dense, as you could tell, because it was really dusty. But it turned beautifully in the end, and this little channel of soft punky wood from the bottom, I managed to get almost all of that gone. It's just a little bit here, but it still feels fine, and it's not soft. So really happy with that, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and that really helps my channel a lot, and I appreciate you watching. And wait for the glamour shots at the end. I've got some super close-ups, so check that out. I'll see you next time.